Training camp is officially underway, and the Chicago Bears have signed two new players for the defense, adding more competition and depth at the back end of the roster. The two newest Chicago Bears are Tanoh Kpassagnon, a pass rusher, and cornerback Trey Flowers. I wanted to quickly break down what each player brings to the roster and their chances of making the 53. Let's go ahead and get right into it. First up is pass rusher Tanoh Kpassagnon, a big, lengthy, and powerful defensive end with 16 and a half career sacks and 155 career pressures. He had 4 sacks and 34 pressures in 2023 under Dennis Allen in New Orleans, showing he can still provide pressure off the edge. He's semi athletic, scoring a 7.39 on his RAS. He ran a 4.83 40, and this guy is just huge, nearly 6'7", 290 pounds coming out of college. He plays a little bit closer to 300 now. Passanio was a second round pick by the Chiefs in 2017, and he spent 3 years with Dennis Allen in New Orleans. So this is a guy that our new defensive coordinator is familiar with and was also scouted and drafted high by the Chiefs when Ryan Poles was leading that scouting department. So both our general manager and our defensive coordinator are very familiar with this guy. That gives him a shot at making the back end of the 53-man roster and providing some depth. One thing about Passanio signing is that this guy is actually bigger than Shamar Turner, and he played a lot of defensive end in New Orleans for Dennis Allen. So again, that's suggesting that rookie Shamar Turner could get a lot of reps outside once he's comfortable at defensive tackle at least. But this is a guy who had his most productive season of his career was in New Orleans in 2023. Just 2 years ago, he had 34 pressures and 4 sacks in just 400 snaps. It took him nearly twice as many snaps the other 2 times that he had this many pressures in his career. Simply put, he was most effective as a situational pass rusher with Dennis Allen, so maybe there's still something there. But either way, he provides some depth at edge. He's a guy who could be a situational pass rusher for this defense and help out. He's going to battle Daniel Hardy, Dominique Robinson, Jamry Chroma, and Xavier Carlton for a roster spot. And whoever stands out among that group could potentially push Austin Booker for some playing time. Something to keep an eye on there. And then we also signed a veteran corner, Trey Flowers. He just turned 30 years old, but he's a big physical corner who's had a lot of success in the NFL, matching up against bigger slot guys and tight ends. He's 6'3", 200 pounds. And something I noted about Dennis Allen's defense is he ran a lot of dime looks in New Orleans, often bringing 6 defensive backs onto the field, whereas most defensive coordinators run a lot of nickel with 2 linebackers and 5 defensive backs. Dennis Allen ran a lot of 1 linebacker, 6 DB looks, and he's always looking for guys to move around his secondary. Flowers has battled some injuries, but he could still have something left in the tank. Even though he hasn't done much for the last 2 years, his best football is probably behind him, and he's most likely a camp body. However, he's a tough and smart veteran and someone who will push the younger players on this roster. He's going to provide some competition on the back end, and with JJ being out for a couple weeks, it's going to open up some more reps on this defense, especially for guys like Terrell Smith, Zay Frazier, and even Josh Blackwell. It never hurts to have a little bit more depth. And if healthy, Trey Flowers is a guy who can help out. The bottom line is that Ryan Poles is always looking to improve the back end of this roster, and I know he's received a lot of criticism for it early on, especially when the front half of the roster wasn't very good. But I believe moves like this show he's always looking to improve the team 365 days a year, and that mindset is going to pay off very soon. Welcome to the roster Tanoh Kpassagnon and Trey Flowers. To make room, the Bears waived defensive back Alex Cook and undrafted free agent defensive end Jereme Robinson. The first actual practice of camp is today at 8:30 in the morning. I'll be back later on with every bit of info I can find from practice. We finally have football again. Thanks to everyone who watches. Let me know in the comments what you are most excited for about training camp. Remember to hit that like button for me. Stay tuned, and until next time, bear down.